Yo, what's up everyone and welcome back to Boxmining. So a lot has happened on the markets over the past few days. Bitcoin, Ethereum, and almost every cryptocurrency dropped suddenly yesterday. And today we're still dealing with the repercussions of that. But there's also a lot of FUD being placed outside, just like this video over here, where miners are shoving out their ASICs out in wheelbarrows and just dumping them. And in this video, we're going to look in depth of what happens if miners really do give up. Well, with so much FUD floating around, I'm going to try to address this as not FUD at all. We also have a PSA announced by Trezor. It seems to be the case that there's a fake Trezor Model T floating around, and they issued these photos of what the fake packaging looks like and a warning to customers who order it outside of official channels. And then, of course, we have news on this allegation against OKex. So OKex did not handle this whole Bitcoin Cash fork well, and a lot of what they did with their contracts, this group called Amber AI is calling that to be manipulation and trying to file a case against them. So we're going to take a look at the validity of that as well. So everything and more on today's Boxmining Daily. And of course, everything covered in this video is my personal opinion, not financial advice. So let's start off with the markets. We are still recovering from yesterday's major fall in cryptocurrency prices. So whilst prices are up a little bit, 2% for Bitcoin, Ethereum 2% as well, a little bit of recovery for Bitcoin Cash, the moral of the story is that we still haven't got up to major highs. Yesterday was a considerable amount of concern and kind of emotion pouring out from the dip. And I just want to say that this is something that happens in cryptocurrency quite a lot. I mean, if you just bring this up, 99 Bitcoins, there's a Bitcoin trading chart and the times Bitcoin has died. And in many times, there's a lot of fear and FUD during times like this where people really say, yeah, Bitcoin's dying, it's all going to go to zero. These comments are very, very common. And learning that this happens and dealing with it is really important. For me, it's just that preparing and acknowledging that this is what some people like to do and say during these times, that is what comforts me a lot. Now, in terms of where we're going to go from here, the future is very uncertain. This is something I've said about cryptocurrency prices over time. Right now, we're still trying to find this new support resistance line. We broke past 5,800. Right now, it seems like 4,500 is our new support line, but we can't fully determine that until we see a few more days of trading. What I typically do in these cases is I do dollar cost averages. That really prevents and kind of reduces the impact of market manipulation. Because if you space out your buy orders over time, you're less affected by all these wild swings of the market. And one thing we did notice last year when market volumes were very low is we had flash crashes. There was a time I think a year and a half ago, where Ethereum flash crashed from $14 all the way down to $5. And it caused a lot of these future contracts to get completely destroyed. So this is why I don't really do leverage trading anymore. It's because there's still this potential for that. Even though we have more liquidity in the market now, it's not at a point where we can say we're completely safe from that. Now, next up is BAKKT. So yesterday we saw a delay on BAKKT, and for some reason, a 1 month delay to a lot of people caused panic. But at the same time, these guys are trying to deploy something that's never really been done before from a Wall Street angle. They just want safety, stability. They want this to work. So, 1 month delay, it's not going to be the end of the world. I mean, I'll probably be more concerned if it's 5 years or 10 years delay or never. But a lot of people are also discussing about how, this is not the savior to crypto, and I don't completely agree with it. It's not this BAKKT is not the savior to crypto, but it's going to be an on-ramp for institutional investors. People who are interested in crypto, they can get their hands dirty, and then they can have full ownership. That's when they get their ledger or they get a cold storage wallets. That's the best way to keep cryptocurrency and have full, complete control over it yourself. That's what makes crypto powerful. Now let's get on to the main bit of news. So this happened yesterday. So this video actually got 286K views. It was people moving out these miners in wheelbarrows, and it got retweeted so many times. So this caused a lot of sensation because people always misunderstand mining. And when they think there's a certain group of people who think, oh, if miners give up, then Bitcoin is going to crash to zero, or maybe miners will prevent Bitcoin from dropping below a certain point. All of these things are untrue, because what miners are doing is they're doing literally accounting for the network. And if they don't get paid enough and they shut down, well, that means there's more for everyone else. How does that make sense? Well, let's explain mining like this. Let's say it's like a kid's birthday party and there's one cake for everyone. Let's say there's 5 people going, they're all happy to get a nice chunk of cake each. Well, what if 20 people go? Well, they have 1/20th and that slice is very small. That's exactly how mining works. Miners compete against each other, and the more miners there are, the less they're gonna get in terms of Bitcoin reward, because on average, they're gonna mine less. So this is something called difficulty change. Bitcoin automatically adjusts for this. So the more people at the party, the less good it's for everyone else. And conversely, if people start leaving, if they're like, oh yeah, this party sucks, like we're not getting enough cake, well, there's more cake from everyone else. So in actual fact, Bitcoin itself, it's going to be self-sustaining, it's be self-sufficient. And well, if people give up, that means sucks to be them, more for everyone else. And this is actually reflected in the hash rate as well. There is actually less hash rate overall this month. So it does seem like there might be some Chinese miners who are shutting down, or what might be more possible or plausible is that they're shutting down older units. So it's very much like a kind of old PC. The old PCs just aren't very fast. They don't mine very well. And well, if that happens, they can just dump that. If you guys are interested in mining, there was a very good video done by Asia Crypto Today where Mia Tam, she actually visited different retail sites for ASICs in China. And they asked these guys what's happening, and also the second-hand market too. So if these mining units, if they're recent enough, miners can just sell them off in the secondary market to other miners who can source electricity for a cheaper rate. And that's how real economics work. People just don't wheelbarrow it and sell it by the pound, but rather they will keep recent units, and the network hash rate will always be kept alive for Bitcoin. That's how it auto self-sustains. The network's designed to deal with situations like this. Next up on a more serious note, we got traders slamming crypto exchange OKex. So this is an article posted by Amber AI, and it relates to the dealings with a few contracts, OKex futures contracts, during the Bitcoin Cash fork. So what seems to have happened was quite some shady stuff. There was a lot of kind of policy changes that happened in a quick amount of time. For example, there was a special announcement that futures contracts will stop trading at a certain time, and they'll be delivered before the actual expiry date. And changing these rules really messes up trading, because you expect, with a certain, 14-day contract or options contract that expires after 14 days. By moving this forward, this is kind of like breaking their own rules, their own laws. OKex did respond to this criticism as well. They basically discredit this guy and say, yeah, Amber AI as an entity doesn't exist, well, at least not the way they described it. And also it was due to force majeure, basically unforeseen circumstances with this Bitcoin Cash fork that led to this situation. So my personal take on this is that futures contracts in this space just aren't very mature at all. Speaking of security, there is this new wave of fake Trezor Ones. So we've been talking about hardware wallets as a good way to store cryptocurrency because the private key never leaves the device, unless of course that device is fake. So it seems to be the case that there are people in China selling fake Trezors. So when you get a fake Trezor, this thing isn't even a Trezor. It's not even a hardware wallet. It might just be a backdoor. That's how devastating it is. And one thing they posted are these pictures. So the one on the left here is fake. So this one looks almost like the real one, and the one here on the right is real. So one thing that they did specify is one is to make sure you buy from official resellers, or better yet, buy from the actual website, which is something that I definitely encourage you to do. So if you have, if you're interested in getting a hardware wallet, definitely don't buy it from, the stranger on the street. Don't buy it from even shops, unless these shops are authorized. Just don't take the risk, because at the end of the day, if you end up storing a lot of cryptocurrencies in these wallets and there's a backdoor, then someone can just take them. The good news is that this affects pretty much the newer units sold this year. So if you did buy it from, say, eBay, I do recommend that you stop using it. It's very, very hard to identify which ones are real or fake because of the way the molds are designed. And right now, I'm trying to contact Trezor to see if there's a way to identify by software if it's fake. But definitely make sure you buy your units from official retail, just the actual website. Next up, this is pretty cool. So Engine made this way to distribute digital items by scanning a QR code. So basically, you load up the Engine wallet on your phone. So just the scan feature right here, and then you can just scan a QR code and claim digital items from it. So I was thinking something maybe cool to do with Boxmining, maybe like 12 months of Boxmining. I'm probably not the best calendar material, but we'll try to do something interesting for everyone and something just to reward all you guys for watching. If you guys like collecting items like I do, then that'll be kind of fun and free to give out for everyone. So you can test that out with the Engine wallet right here. So if you just download on your phone and you can start redeeming it and get your own free item. So guys, that wraps up today's episode. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And of course, if you have any concerns about mining, do leave them on the comment section below. And also, I'll be attending Block Show in Singapore this month as well. So this is next week on November 28th. If you guys want some tickets, I got some ticket links down below. So you get like a discount if you use that coupon code. And if you guys are in the region, do check it out. It's going to be quite a few good speakers. And I'll also be presenting as well during this whole show. So I'm pretty excited to show what you guys have there and see what's happening in Singapore as well. Thank you guys so much for watching. See you next time.